Welcome back to another episode on the road to 2000. So without any further ado, let's get into it. On this game I was playing as white, so I started with the queen's pawn opening to d4. My opponent also responded with pawn to d5. Then I played the accelerated London system, bishop to f4. My opponent played bishop to f5. Then I played pawn to c4. It's kind of a gambit because I'm just sacrificing my pawn. But my opponent ignored that and played the best move, playing knight to f6. Then I played pawn to e3. My opponent responded with played pawn to e6. Then I played knight to c3. My opponent played bishop to b4. Then I took the pawn on d5. But the best move here was to play knight to e2. But then I took the pawn on d5. My opponent responded with the best move, taking with the knight. Then I played knight to e2. Then my opponent castled, which is the best move. Then I played pawn to a3, attacking the bishop. My opponent went for this bishop knight exchange. Then I took with my knight, which is a mistake. The best move is to take with the pawn because this prevents. Let me show you. After I take with the knight here, my opponent then made a mistake, but the best move was for my opponent to take the bishop, and then I'm forced to take with the pawn. Then now I have doubled up pawns. So that was the idea. That's why the computer like that sequence better. But then my opponent took with the knight. Then I took back with the pawn. Then my opponent played queen to d5. Then I played bishop to e2. Then my opponent played knight to d7. Then I played bishop to f3, which is a mistake. But the best move for my opponent was for the queen to take the pawn on g2. Even though this allows this, the queen could have moved here. Then I'll probably have won the rook here, but the computer thinks this is better. Don't know why, but I would have won the rook. Then my opponent didn't take, of course. Then I made the mistake playing bishop to f3, which my opponent played bishop to e4. Then I took the bishop there, going for that bishop exchange. Then my opponent took back with the queen to e4. Then I castled, which is the best move, and my opponent played knight to f6. Then I made the mistake playing bishop to c7, which my opponent missed. Not sure what the best move here for white was. The best move was playing the f rook to c8, attacking the bishop. And then the bishop had to move, and this pawn was under threat. The pawn here on the center, or on the queen side. But then my opponent used the wrong rook. Then I made the mistake playing bishop to a5, or an inaccurate move. Then my opponent attacked my bishop. Then I played bishop to b4, which is I think the only move. Then my opponent played rook to e8. Then I played rook to c1, protecting my pawn. My opponent played queen to d5. Then I played pawn to a4, creating space for my bishop. Then my opponent made the mistake playing knight to e4. And then I missed this move, playing pawn to f3. Now the knight would have been forced to move, and it was gonna go back, of course. Now this pawn is only being attacked with one piece, which is the rook. But then I played queen to f3, which kind of gave white an advantage, or a slight advantage. Then my opponent played pawn to f5. But I think in this position, let's see, playing knight was also a miss. And taking this pawn is also a blunder, so I'm not sure which is the best move Oh, this is also a miss. It works, but then I have a chance to move, so that doesn't also work. So I'm not sure which one is the best move in this position, but then let's continue. My opponent played pawn to a5. Then I played a great move, playing pawn to c4. Then my opponent took back with the rook, then I took back with my own rook. Then there was that exchange there. Then I took the knight, my opponent took my bishop. Then I played knight to a rook to a1, protecting my pawn. My opponent played rook to c8. Then I played pawn to h3, avoiding bank rank checkmate. My opponent played queen to b2. Then I just played rook to b1, attacking the queen. And then in this position, my opponent made a blunder, playing rook to c1, forgetting that the king is not opened up, the pawns have not been moved, so he's in danger of bank rank checkmate. So my opponent should have maybe moved the pawn first before making, but my opponent was losing the queen. I'm just saying move the queen, then move the pawn later to avoid any bank rank checkmate. But then my opponent made the plan, then I just moved the queen. Taking here is also a mistake because this allows my opponent to have time to move the pawn and avoid the checkmate. But then my opponent made this plan, then I just moved the king, sorry. Then my opponent, the only move for my opponent is to lose the queen by bringing the knight back, and then I'll just win the queen. Then the game was actually over, even if my opponent chose to lose the queen, but my opponent played rook to c2, and then I just played this, then it was mate in one, because after this checkmate. So that's how the game actually ended, and that's how I won the game. So I think that's all. So thank you for watching the video. Please subscribe, hit the notification bell, like, comment, and until we meet each other on the next one. Peace.